Welcome to another episode 90.
Yeah, getting on up there, man.
We getting up there, man. That home stretch. Well, ain't no home stretch because ain't no end point, but here we are again. Transferable Experience Podcast, TUP. 90 episodes in, man. We thank y'all for rocking with us. Thank y'all for tuning in. On your commute, however you get your podcast, however you listening to them, we appreciate all the support. Ed, he's in the building. What's going on, my brother?
Man, nothing much, man. I got a pretty short week at work, man, and came off our little trip. So I don't know, man. I kind of I just been kind of relaxing, man. Then my shoulder, so I hurt my shoulder.
Yeah, I've been hearing you talk about
doing a press. Funny thing is, I didn't hurt it boxing. I actually hurt it just working out, and I wasn't even doing heavy weight, but it was clearly swollen and some internal stuff. And my trainer was just just ice it. You'd be surprised what they can do, and it went down. But
you still feeling it?
No, because at one point it was so bad that me just doing daily functions, reaching for stuff. I am left-handed, and it was on my left shoulder, so just doing my regular day-to-day stuff hurt. But the pain going down. So it's but that's always the hardest thing for me. Is I be so scared about losing my momentum that sometimes I work through injuries, but in working through, it lasts longer than if I would have just chilled. So I'm really just embracing it, because I technically could probably do some lower body stuff, or maybe I could do some easy stuff, maybe run, not sprint, but just go on my jaw. Yeah, so
jog.
Where it's not too much on my shoulder. But I mean, which I've done a little bit, but not much, man. I kind of just been taking it easy, just really trying to take time to actually heal. So next time when it's time to go for it, I can just go for it, man. But that's pretty much it, man. You know, my favorite holiday coming up. We had a whole episode about Thanksgiving accidentally. So
you let your people know what you bringing,
man. So
you signed up.
I was given a suggestion on where we can buy a turkey for Thanksgiving, because I was like, man, I heard Popeyes do turkeys. You ought to just try that. It can't be worse. With all due respect,
respectfully,
well, not worse, but
it could be something different. It can
we need to
spice
something.
it up. Switch it up.
So I said that, then my mom was like, "Well, I already got the ham for you to do your ham," and I was like, I didn't know."
I forgot. I didn't know. I forgot that's the unwritten rule.
I didn't know once you do it's all right. Then
you
that's
in there.
Yours.
Yeah, you in there. My bad. I forgot about that.
So that was kind of a surprise. I was like, man, I'm grown, because I didn't expect just to be my role now.
Yeah. I told my mom, I said, Mom, make sure you get 2 turkeys. I'm gonna do one. She said, I already got it. Same thing like you. I was like, oh, okay, we in there now.
So I was didn't know that was what my thing was.
Your contribution, forward.
Huh? So that's what I'm doing. And then my little brother, he, bless his heart, he was talking about, man, well, what maybe I should, because since it's established now, I guess he feel like he got to step up to the plate. And he was saying, man, what should I cook? And I was like,
start small.
One, I've never had your food, and I don't want my first time trying anything about you to be on Thanksgiving. Then I was like, well, he was like, maybe I do yams. We don't normally have yams. So I was like, yeah, you can do I don't want you to take on a staple on a day that means so much to me when I ain't even had your
normal
cooking. I don't even know what he can do. I think he's still in them. He's 22. I know where I was at 22. I feel like he's still at those.
He's still in the
infancy stages.
Yeah.
So I'm like, nah, man, just calm down. You got.
Just put some money on.
I'm gonna say that you got years left for freeloading, man. Without anybody looking at you crazy.
I was about to say, don't sign up.
You're a college kid, man.
Yeah. You don't got to sign up right now.
Yeah, you don't got to do that. So, man, I'm looking forward to that, man. I got one more day of work, and I'm off for a few weeks.
Shout out.
That'll be cool, man. Take some time off, go home, hang out, and kind of just relax, man. Try not to spend too much money. That's how it always goes.
Yeah.
When you off, man.
Yeah.
That's when
You just looking for something to fill that time, and
man.
filling times can cost money
expensive.
sometimes.
Yeah. So I don't wanna do that though. I'm gonna sit myself at home. I told you I finally started The Wire. Give some hand claps for that, man.
Okay.
Long time coming.
I just want to let the listeners know I might have been suggesting The Wire to Ed for a good little minute now, and I'm glad to hear that you started.
I started it, man.
It's kind of slow right now.
Interesting though. It's you know me. I like a lot of storylines.
You like dialogue too, right?
Yeah. So okay. I've been enjoying like, and then like I'm going into it. Like I knew Idris Elba was on the show, but I was like, wait, is that Michael B. Jordan?
Mm-hmm. The young Michael
with B. braids? Yeah. And just seeing that and like just seeing like what the style was back then,
and that was like a groundbreaking show.
Yeah,
like the way they shot it.
I'm enjoying. I'm like I said, I'm on episode 3, and it's so interesting because like the cops ain't dirty, but they real.
Yeah,
so far.
Yeah,
but they not dirty, but they
they real people.
Yeah, like. Yeah. So it's just an interesting take too, because I was like, yeah, Baltimore. I was like, yeah, and then like they had went over to Towers because they just got drunk and was like, man, we're gonna go establish who we are. And that kind of turned on them, and then seeing how like the guy that was in charge of them told them what to say,
how to cover it up,
and then. And then I like too how the episodes it start off with a quote that end up being in the show.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Yeah, so I picked up on all that stuff, and it's been pretty cool so far. Like I say, only 3 episodes in, but
you are in for a ride.
How many seasons do they have of that?
5.
Oh, okay,
5, and they each one got like 12 episodes, or maybe more. But yeah, you in for a nice treat. So you stick with that, man. You're gonna be entertained.
And me personally, I love like starting a show when it's like already seasons. It don't have to be done, but at least be seasons in.
So you can really watch.
Yeah, so I can like binge that thing.
Yeah. You gonna
but that's not a show. I gotta like that ain't a show that you can just passively watch.
No,
you gotta be like
you gotta be
fully
watching.
Engaged. Yeah, so that's not like I'm about to eat. That's like I'm done eating. Now it's time to throw it on.
Yeah.
Because some shows I can, some stuff you miss a little piece. It don't really matter. But I want to catch everything.
Yeah,
so.
yes, sir.
Been pretty good so far. Like I said, I'm only on episode 3. I don't know because I was watching it on the plane and I probably fell asleep. But I think where I am now, the boy got off for the murder, the shooting that he did in the lobby. And then they picked him up again because the key witness they had, he ended up dead. And they got him in they just arrested him and picked him up. They wouldn't charge him with nothing, but they lied and guilt tripped him to make him feel sad. So he was writing a letter saying sorry. Then he went to the little family function with his gal and his kid, and he was telling the uncle what he did.
Oh, D'Angelo. You talking about D'Angelo?
Yeah, and he was telling the uncle what he did, and his uncle was kind of getting on him. Yeah, because he was like, why would you do that? And he was like, you don't know if we was a part of this or not, but you kind of like
you can't put nothing on paper for them people,
so
man.
That's where I'm at right now. Very early on, but I'm enjoying it.
Keep watching. It's only gonna get better, but that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Me myself, man. I had a pretty good work week. I finally got through my one-on-ones last week with all my employees. And I know we said this last episode, but it was good. It was beneficial. They seem more motivated going into the holiday season. And I just feel good about giving them that confidence and building them up. You know what I mean? Like so many times in life, we kind of need just that, I ain't gonna say validation, but just that
like a positive reinforcement.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Positive reinforcement. And it was not, it feel good to receive that, but I realize how good it was to deliver that, and
I'm about to say, because sometimes it just feel nice to hear that you're on the right track.
Yeah, and you're doing good, even with the criticism, and they're not hard. It's just, okay, I know what I need to do now.
Yeah, I'm about to say, because sometimes especially if you're just in the day to day, you don't know what's right, what's wrong, what could be better, and especially if you like in a dynamic where they don't necessarily micromanage you per se. So it's like. It could have been something for for any. Like, hey man, you could have did this. When you do this, do this. Yeah, like okay.
And then I did it kind of different, bro. I was actually pulling up they work. Like,
oh my god,
we went through the performance review, but then we went through their work, and I'd be like, see, you see this? This is why I said this 10 minutes ago. You see this? This is why I said this 20 minutes ago. So like, it wasn't like I was blowing smoke or anything like that. Like I was giving them empirical evidence about the stuff we talked about, and it's cool. I actually have my 1-on-1 tomorrow.
Okay.
With my higher ups and everything, so I'm interested to hear about that. Just talk about my career, and just where it's going and where it's headed and what's my options. So pretty excited to hear about that. I'm gonna press the issue to let them know where I'm coming from, but I'm also being receptive too. But yeah, and of course we had our trip. We went out there. It was on the west. Got to connect with some family out there. That felt good. The hike felt good too. The hike was
was a highlight of my trip. I like the hike, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just kind of cool to see what people just have access to.
Yes.
And they probably don't utilize it, but people probably come to Dallas and say the same, like, "Oh my gosh, this is just here." And but
when I was riding around, it always wows me when I'm other places that got elevation and mountains and stuff. Because when you driving, you can just look at the skyline and you can see like the mountains in the distance, or just different levels of where people living, people staying, how they got to work around that. It was cool. I just always appreciate that because we come from a place where we ain't got much of that. Not on this side of Texas, at least. So that was nice, and it was like calming. Yeah. Which is like kind of what I've been on. Like I've been working to like not let myself be influenced by external forces in a major way. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been kind of chilling out on the social media. I'm not on Facebook like that, like I used to be. Kind of like easing off that. So I think I'm about to do a little detachment, and things like that help me. The hiking, the being out, being in a different place. Yeah, and I was downtown, and so a lot of times, like when you call me, what you doing? Like, man, I'm just exploring. I'm just walking. Seeing people, talking to people, bumping into people, going to different stores, hearing their story, and I enjoyed that. And of course, we got the holidays coming up, and that's gonna be nice to see family. Like getting back, and it's cool because these things are hitting me in such a way that it's making me refocus where I'm putting my emphasis on in my life. Like I don't need to be. I don't know. I don't need to be posting in the section every weekend or, doing that. That's cool every now and then. But the thing that's important to me is that exploration and family and connecting and unity and things like that. And that kind of stuff keeps me on the right track, Keeps me on the right track. Something else I've been, and this kind of goes into our topic. This year... Because, the year coming to a close. So, we starting to look at it holistically and in review. And, of course, like you always say, hindsight 2020. I've really learned a lot this year about how to deal with people and trusting people with things and learning to what extent that I can deal with somebody and what capacity I can deal with somebody. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And you have like that general trust, like, okay, I trust this person to be a good person, but it's not till you're tested in real life situations that have consequences that you realize like, oh, I was expecting you to be this and I was trusting you to be at this level. Yeah. And when you fall short of that, it's like, it's kind of like I almost kind of embraced it to my nature because it's like, dang, like, I had this intention for how I wanted us to be interacting with each other. But now I just got hit with a whole different wave of how you move, and how you handle things that it's like I'm struggling with the realization to understand like, okay, now I see like I only go so far with you. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what I had been on my mind too. I don't know how you feel about that. And what's your reaction to that?
Well, because I think I get what you're saying. Because I felt like when it kind of like,
just think about your year. Just think about our years. You know what I mean? And things like that, bro. Go ahead. My bad. I cut you off.
Yeah, I'm about to say I was going in a completely different direction.
No. Go that direction.
Because like when I was hearing from there was like how you were saying like kind of like what we were going to talk about today, which is trust and like.
Well, yeah.
How it's like levels to trust and like realizing like it's like like you say, it's like levels to trust where it's like I can trust you with this,
just this much,
this
far,
compared to some people I can give them way more. You know, like I like to quantify stuff on a trust scale. You might just be a 2, and I thought you was a 4.
Yeah,
and now I got to reel that back and be like, oh, okay, well, maybe it wasn't what I thought it was and stuff. But I do think it's like levels to trust, and of course, I got good old.
our good friend.
Yep, psychology together
Today.
Yep, good old psychology today pulled up to kind of give a overlook of trust, and it say trust is a central part of all human relationships, including romantic partnerships, family life, business operations, politics, and medical practices. If you don't trust your doctor or psychotherapist, for example, it is much harder to benefit from their professional advice. Then it kind of just talk about like what trust is, and it got like a couple options, and it say trust is a set of behaviors such as acting in ways that depend on another. Trust is a belief in a probability that a person will behave in certain ways.
See,
trust is an abstract mental attitude towards a proposition that someone is dependable. Trust is a feeling of confidence and security that a partner cares. Trust is a complex neural process that binds diverse representations into a cinematic pointer that includes emotions. Semantic pointer that includes emotion. And I feel like those are all kind of like good things that kind of like explain kind of what trust is. And I think a lot of people, how we look at trust is like I said, I feel like the first couple ones where it says
the first
it's like,
two,
it's a set of behavior where it's such as acting in ways that depend on another, and the belief in the probability that a person will behave in certain ways. Because it's like, if I trust you, that means
I have this faith in like
that you won't do certain things to me, or like you say, behave in certain ways towards me. And I don't know, trust is a strange concept, because I feel like I say, for me, trust is on a scale. So like
spectrum.
For me, I trust everybody in general. Like on a one, like a 1, everybody get that, because it's like
just general principle.
I don't think I'm a citizen. I work a 9 to 5 job. I don't think nobody just out to get me in general. Me personally.
Yeah.
I just don't believe people are out to get me in general. So I have a general trust. Like, I got common sense. If a man come to me with a pistol, I'm not saying, oh, well I guess he wants to show that to me. You know, not naive, but generally I'm pretty just trusted in general. Like, I don't think people just come to me with ill intent typically.
No. I can agree with that. I give everybody that genuine, trust that everybody has good intentions, and the want to do right by themselves, which will lead them to do right by others, because,
I do operate where I think everybody do what they think is best. But whether I agree with that or not, but I feel like what they do is what they feel is best.
Yeah. Dang, you just made me think of something like how subjective trust is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because they might believe that what they're doing is right. You know what I mean? And you might not agree with that. I definitely.
I don't typically, but
what jumps out to me in this list is definitely number 2: trust in the belief that a probability that a person will behave in a certain way. So trust involves what trust in higher degrees involve a sense of almost like vulnerability, where it's like, Ed, I trust you to act in a certain way because you know things about me that give you insight into the things that make me tick. You know what I mean? Or things that would bother me mentally, emotionally. I don't know about spiritually, but if you got that much control, shout out to you. If you got that much control, shout out to you. But I give you that. You know what I'm saying? You give trust. Trust is like a combination of insight and vulnerability. Like, let me give you this. Let me be vulnerable enough to give you this insight on how I operate, so that in tandem, when we are interacting or we're out somewhere, you know what I'm gonna do. You know how I'm thinking. Like, we walk in the we walk in like a bar or something, you kind of like, okay, this how you gonna survey the land, you know. This how I'm gonna move about with other people and things like that, and I find relief in it. You know what I mean? And it's a comforting thing, you know. And it's kind of like I'm trying to use a good example. It's kind of like I can't think of, but something that like builds up over time. You know what I mean? Like how we started when we first met each other. You know, you probably ain't trust me like that.
It's like building a house, man.
You go.
You gotta start with a foundation.
Then you gonna add the frame. Then you gonna add the. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just constantly build over time.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but you don't just get the end product instantly, no matter how.
Yeah.
Even if you want to rush and get to that point, some stuff just take time.
That's crazy. You can't speed trust up.
You really can't.
It kind of moves on its own time. On time. And here in the second paragraph, you know, as far as like evidence for that, it says behaviors and verbal expressions are certainly evidence for trust. For example, when someone treats you well and says nice things to you, but these behaviors are merely evidence for the internal mental state of trust that causes them not to trust itself. You know what I'm saying? Trusting people may involve estimations of probabilities of how they will behave, but people usually trust others without any understanding of probability or any precise predictions about their behaviors. Some philosophers would say that trust is a propositional attitude, an abstract relation between the abstract self and the abstract meaning of the sentence. But the nature of these selves, relations, and meanings is utterly mysterious. Okay.
But I do, as you was reading that, I was kind of thinking to myself, I do like, it's easier if I trust consistency in people.
That's your building block of trust. Okay.
Like if you like really erratic and you may be one way one day, one way the other. That's what, for me, I feel uncomfortable in that, and I can't trust that because it's like I never know which version of you I'm gonna get. This version is cool. This one is a-hole.
Yeah.
So I feel like, which I mean, we actually got an article too about ways to build trust. But I think for me, that's like kind of where it starts. Just you being consistent in who you are. Whether it don't really matter if it align with what I believe or nothing, but just you being, like I say, because it start for me being easy to like predict your your behavior because this is who you are. Like consistently.
Like in the paragraph, it says involves estimations of probabilities of how they would behave. So for you to get an accurate estimation, you need to see that over time.
Yeah, you need to see so this is just how they gonna react to stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And I have a degree of that in my formula for trust. Also in my formula of trust is just like how somebody correctly and effectively manages and communicates emotions, thoughts, and opinions. Okay? Because I got people I don't see every day that I trust. But I know when I talk to them, they're poignant. You know what I mean? They're intentional. Like, I might not see you for a month, but if I call you and say, hey, Ed, you know, what you think about this? You going to give me the real deal? You know what I'm saying? The real spiel. And I ain't got to worry about that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I ain't got to guess. You know what I mean? Like, it gives me, like, the consistency, yes, but I'm sorry. No, the consistency is like what cements it. The communication and the conveying of yourself is what leads me to want to cement it. I guess, you know what I'm saying? But that's just how I work. You know what I mean? And that's how trust works for me. That's how I build my family. That's how I build my house. You know what I mean? That's how I build my house. But if you want to go to those ways to build trust, we can go through those, and we can probably pull some good examples from that. Here we go. Number one, and this is what I was just talking about. It says, be true to your word. Honor your commitments. Don't make promises you can't keep. Now, isn't that like a combination of the two?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was about to say, yeah, if you're a liar, I will never trust you. Like if I just like mark you as a liar in my head, we can Like I say, that's when you never get past one.
Yeah.
On my trust.
Especially when it's like meaningless lies. It's just like
when it's like
yeah.
What do you get from this?
Yeah, and you wanted to, I mean, I'm one of the people, you definitely one of the people, like, you deal with a lot of people, so you understand, like, people have methods to their madness. You're like, you know what I mean? But when it don't have nothing under there, and you just doing it just to do it.
For approval. From others.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of liars, and me personally, I don't like having them type of people too close to me, but, you know, I don't know. Some people, they don't. That's not as.
Do you ever like test people? You just wait. You just observe.
A wise woman once told me, you give a person enough rope, they'll hang themselves. You ain't got to do all that.
Yeah,
just reveal itself.
Yeah, it do. It does.
But yeah, like I said, for me too, like I said, if you're not true to your word and you're just a liar, then once you mark that in my head, it's kind of hard to get. You can work yourself out of some stuff with me, but once you're a liar and that's like consistently shown to me, then that's just what you are. And it's like, I sit there and listen to you talk, but I don't take anything for anything.
Yeah,
like if you tell me it's raining, I'm gonna have to go check myself.
Look at the window, right?
Yeah.
What that means to me, be true to your word, right? Honor your commitments, don't make promises you keep. Like me, I would give you something valuable of myself. And of course my value is on the spectrum too. Like if I give you something to do or a piece of information that I found dear to me and you mishandle that, you know what I mean? Like that's an indicator to me. Like if I tell you, man, Ed, you know, like, shoot, man, Ed, I need $20. You know what I mean? I ain't got no money till Friday, whatever. I don't want to call our other homeboy. He say, man, Ed told me he gave you $20. I'm like, dang, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know it was gonna spread like that. I didn't want it to make it seem like I'm just begging, you know?
Yeah.
But in a situation like that, I'd be like, dang, like, I kind of like leaned on him. And he kind of like weaponized it a little bit against me. Okay, I look, like we said, like, okay, now you just a one. You know what I mean?
Or you know, like, okay, I can't get that far with him.
Yeah, I can't get yeah. And it ain't even just money. It's like that's just information, period. Now I know how you handle information and intel and how you manage other people. You know what I mean? And that's something I can't get with. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm big on that. I'm big on that. And, you know, that don't just come unsolicited. Like, I ain't meeting nobody the first day and just, you know, doing some stuff extreme like that. That got to be like a little bit over time after I dealt with somebody and stuff like that. But that's that iteration for me. That's that iteration for me. And number two, which will probably piggyback off that, it says communicate effectively. Like that's what I said earlier. You know what I mean? You want to go ahead.
I know.
Yeah. Look like you.
My train of thought was gonna be short, so go ahead. I want you to remember yours.
Okay, I was just saying like that kind of goes to what I was saying before. Like, I want to trust your word. I want you to be able to, when I see you and I'm dealing with you, I know you being intentional and you're not leaving things ambiguous. You know what I'm saying?
Not being vague.
And you know how we always talk about people that's passive aggressive. You know what I mean? Kind of like, well, yeah, they said they was gonna do that. I don't know, man. Every time, you know, I don't really mess with that. But if they come, they come. You know, saying stuff like that. You like, okay, so do you want them to come or not? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Pick a side. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I know how to act. You know. And that's just what I get out of that when I read that. What was your thought? I'm sorry.
Oh, well, I just thought about when it comes to building trust and communicating effectively. I just thought about like relationship with men and like men. I mean, I think we kind of communicate more than the men typically do because I got other friends that's not a part of our group, and like the way we communicate is like
it's strictly just.
Is not the best. I just don't think men just communicate with each other and they relationships the best at times. But somebody asks you a question and it's a legit question, you be like, I don't know. I don't know. We don't talk about that. Like,
you right about that. You right. Like, we don't really talk about that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like that's kind of interesting. But I feel like that can help build trust for sure. Especially when you, I guess, communicating effectively. I think for me, that kind of go when I think about that when it comes to communication. What helped build trust for me is like transparency and honesty.
That's a big one.
I respect the heck out of honesty, whether if it's in my favor or not. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's positive or negative, the fact that you just giving it up. Yeah. That's when I feel trustworthy. Because if you only tell me I guess the good stuff or whatever, but then I hear you saying some negative stuff, I would just say it all, in front of me. Like, nah, bro, you was tripping when you did that. I'm gonna trust that more because it's like, okay, I know these are like all your thoughts, and it's not just a few that you let get to me. It's like you just give it up and just tell it all to me. So it's like for me, just knowing that because you're not always in the right. You ain't always in the wrong, So having somebody that can tell you both,
Yeah, exactly. I'm just laughing because I remember the conversation we had like group message last week. We was like, nah, you was wrong that day. And we all like, somebody should have said something. He was like, yeah, somebody should have said something.
See, that's what builds up trust when you can. For me, when people be honest about stuff that it may be something that I don't want to quote unquote hear, but they still tell me that just how they tell me. Yeah, I guess what I would want to hear.
Yeah, but that's rooted in like somebody's care for you overall, right? Yeah, like I know Ed gonna give me the harsh truth even I want to hear. He like, Drew,
But you can trust that because on both sides of the spectrum, you going to get it regardless.
Yeah, like, hey, Drew, you went about that the wrong way, brother. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying that's how I think would build trust when it's like, okay, like, nah, when you give it up like that, that's what make me.
Straighten up, OG. Tighten up, OG.
That's what makes me have trust when it's like you get the good and the bad from a person.
And like, trust ain't instant. Like, you don't tell me that in the moment and I instantly trust you because of that. You tell me that.
I'm gonna say because when you meet somebody, you ain't gonna just give your uncandid, unfiltered opinion. It's just like they got to build over time. It's like they got to feel comfortable to tell you something to where they know you ain't gonna take it the wrong way.
Boy, I was just
and I think like I said, that come into like being consistent and showing that okay, you a practical, reasonable person and like I said, that stuff just gets shown with you just being consistent. That way, when they do come to stuff like that, they feel comfortable to tell you that kind of stuff.
And usually, and this is what builds that communication in our friend group that you say that men don't have all the time. Look, you tell me that, right? I go home. I might be mad, like, man, you tripping. I go home. I sit on that. I think about it. I say, man, Ed was right for doing that. Ed was coming from a genuine place when he told me that. I gotta have enough trust in you to say, hey, Ed, I was wrong. You was right. You know what I mean? And some dudes just don't like being wrong, bro. Some people in general don't like being wrong.
Or they can't admit it. They just rather just.
Bro, and we need to have I'm gonna put that in the notes because we gotta talk about that because some people just do not like being wrong. Like wrong doesn't even compute in their mind. Like it stumps them. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's just because it's in the minutes of guilt or the minutes of like shortcomings, and they gotta face that, and they ain't got comfortable with that yet. Yeah, you know what I mean. But a lot of people struggle with it. Men especially. You know what I mean?
I think everybody do.
Yeah, I think everybody.
I don't think that's just specific to men.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, I got to be able to say, "Hey, Ed, you was right." So that's going forward, like you said, that builds that foundation. We could talk to each other like this now, and we know it ain't gonna be static.
Yeah, I'm not saying that goes to the next step to building trust, which is just build trust gradually, take small steps, don't expect too much too soon, and that's what we kind of just talked about. Where it's not you literally building a house of trust, and it ain't gonna just happen instantly because some stuff you can't rush. Like,
excuse me, I'm sorry.
You gotta get that ground level first, then you gotta pour the concrete, then you gotta let that sit for a little bit. So it just take time and it's a process. And like you say, you can't get frustrated if somebody don't trust you all the way too soon, because that is a gradual thing.
And also, somebody might trust you with a situation that's different than another situation.
Yeah,
and
I'm not saying that's just stuff on the spectrum where it's like, okay, here's a 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so now here's a 2-level trust thing. Okay.
Yeah. Here's a little ping pong.
Because sometimes, like I say, stuff can be too much too soon. So you want to ease people into it. You don't want to overwhelm somebody.
Mm-hmm. Okay, here's something to back that up from Psychology Today. It says trust is rarely absolute, but rather it's restricted to particular situations. Pat may trust Sam to pick up the groceries, but not to perform surgery. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The representation of the situation, such as picking up groceries, can again be a combination of verbal, sensory, or motor depictions. You know what I mean? Like, you know what you could trust people with. Yeah. I know if I tell Ed, to do what what you could trust me to do and what you can trust me not to do, and that's what you do. And
like I say,
you just delegate it.
Just be on the spectrum. Like I say, got some 5s in your life, got some 7s, got a few 9s,
a few
and
10s. Yeah, but it's a lot of 2s, a lot of 1s.
Like I say, man, everybody's life just different. Then the next one is make decisions carefully, think before committing, be organized so you can honor commitments and have the courage to say no. Yeah, I think so. That can help build trust, just not being reckless. And I gotta say that no, because it's like, for me, that's important. Where it's like, okay, like for me, just being trust, knowing that like I'm getting like all of your like.
Okay, because I was about to ask you a question. Because you said it on this podcast before. You say you a man of your word. You like to keep your commitments, right? And if you give somebody your word, you do the best to follow through on that. And when you don't, it kind of mess with you, right? So where it says think before committing, what is that thought process for you? Because you're so good at that. You're better at that than me. I'd say that.
Like, I mean, I be in situations. I had a friend who came to me to help him with something that was work related. And I wanted to help really bad, but it was literally going to be 3 times a week, different days out the week. And I had to be in my seat doing this at 7 p.m. And I was like, I can't commit to that. And it was like,
it ain't nothing against
you.
And
that was me thinking about like, well, hey, I box Monday, Friday. So that automatically take me out those days. Then I got this, and this, I don't be settled by 7. Like I have to move a lot around, and I was like, I can't commit to that, And I think, like you said, that's me making my decision carefully, where I'm not. I'm thinking before I'm committing. I think that's a perfect
because you don't want to ruin that trust. Like and
and like I said, this is a level 9 trust thing, and I just willingly say and then I realize, hold on, I can't do this.
And you rather say no first than say yes, than go back and say no.
Yeah.
That feels bad too.
Especially if somebody think they can depend on you.
Yeah. Because you don't want to get no false hope, nothing like that.
So again, like I said, that's the courage I have to be able to say no, because
I just thought that was interesting.
I knew that was important. And when he came to me with that, he didn't go to everybody with that, but it was like, I can't do it. Yeah. And I'm not going to commit to something that I know I'm not able to fulfill.
Yeah. You're right, and that's why I asked you, because you're pretty forthright in that. I am too, but you're very good at that. So I just want to see what that thought process is.
Well, yeah, I'm a creature of habit, and I be knowing my schedule, and I kind of know what's going on.
So if it can logically fit in your workflow,
it depends on like how bad somebody need me. Like I say, if it's like I
didn't even think about that.
If it's like you just asking me, but you already got a bunch of people, so it's like if I'm there, it's cool. But if not, or I'm your sole person that you relying on,
or like, cause we used to do this all the time. When you used to call me and we used to like go through your essays and stuff. Like sometimes you'd be like, "Hey, I got everything else worked out. I just need you for this."
Yeah,
you know what I mean. If it's some situation like that, then like even if I got to move that around, I love you enough. If I trust you,
I'm a naturally helpful person. So as long as it's like, if I can do it, or like I say, if it's like something where you really need me, I can try to see what I can move around and what can't be moved around.
Okay.
I think like I say, I'm pretty flexible. I know what I got going on. So
And you know what
it's
else?
not that hard for me to kind of like just
going back to that passage we read, like you said, knowing yourself. I know what I can and can't do. Don't come to me for no math homework. Like, you talking to the wrong friend, and I got to be honest. Like it says, have the courage to say no. I got to have the courage to be like, hey, brother, thank you for believing in me like that, but that ain't me. You know what I mean?
Somebody say, man, I got an Excel problem. Like, well, I can't help solve it.
I can't help do that. Yeah. I can maybe point you to somebody, but not me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay. And that kind of goes, like you said, you're a consistent person. That's what it says, be consistent. Trust is built from consistency.
And that's what I was talking about. That's
straight
for
like
me.
That.
Like,
straight like that.
You got to just be who you are on a regular basis for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Just next one, participate openly in team settings. Show your willingness to trust. Listen actively. Give feedback respectfully. Now, this the one for me right here. Because I ain't gonna lie. I love putting myself out there. Hey, y'all, what's up? My name is Jew. You know what I mean? Like, this what I do. If anybody need help with this, I'm more of a literary guy than a math guy. You know what I mean? If you need me for that, I got that for you. Hit me up. Here's my number. Like, I give myself in that way. You know what I'm saying? Because I know, and it's probably because, like, you're probably going to show the things that you know you can make good on. I can make good on those things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like, other things, I know myself, You know what I'm saying? And secondly, that second one, listen actively.
I just enjoy active listening. I need a little feedback, even if it's like a or especially if like it's not in person.
That happens, yeah. I've been with them days.
I literally can't see that you listening. I need a little just a little audio feedback.
Well, y'all, Ed used to call me. He say, "But I don't even need you to say something. Just let me talk." And I'd be like, "All right." That phone call me like 2 hours. I'd just be like, "Okay, 2 hours later. So how you doing, man?" Hey,
I'm really into active listeners, man. I cold silence don't work for me. You gotta give me some audio feedback.
I ain't gonna lie. The people that listen to this podcast every day, they know I'm that dude because I stay being like, I listen back and I be like, yeah. When you talking, I be like, yeah, but I love actively listening.
Yeah,
I love when somebody talks to me and I can reassure them.
Yeah, and that helped me like stay like engaged too.
You're being heard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I want you to know you're being heard. I even say it back to you. Okay, you say your mama slapped you. Okay, what happened? Dang, that's crazy. Like, where that came from? Like, I might just throw that in there. You know what I mean? My bad, bro. You can go ahead. You can respond to that. I was just saying, this jumps out to me because I am a participator. I don't sit in the back. I don't even like sitting in the back. I like to be on stage. I like to be behind stage, actually. You know what I'm saying? I want to know how that light got up there. How we fix that light. How you set them lights up. Like,
I'm a big operations
guy. I'm a big
too.
operations guy. Like, I like to know the ins and outs and the logistics. So I'm a participator for sure. And I like that in all aspects of life. I like participating. I like when people are actively participating. That will lend myself to trust you. Like, okay, like I can rock with them. You know, I can get that.
Yeah. And I kind of mentioned it today where it's like I like somebody that like to actively be involved and help. Like, even if it's just the action of offering. Like, I like that and appreciate that. I don't know. Well, yeah, that kind of do go into my level of trust. Because like me, it's the same with me. I like to contribute to stuff. So
yeah,
I like when people share that mindset of they like to contribute. Then the next one is kind of what we've been talking about. Well, I was about be honest, always tell the truth, lies diminish trustworthiness. And I was saying, like transparency is really important to me. And if you just a liar, you just a liar to me. And it take a lot to be considered a liar. But like I say, for me, I operate under the gaslit. Why lie to me? Like, I'm the average 9 to 5 guy. I can't change your life. I can't
honest dollar
put you in a position to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a man in a position of power yet. So it's like,
I can't just push the button on
for you to lie to me, to me is just wild. Cause it's like, there's no benefit of lying to me. So seriously, like you gain nothing out of it. So to lie to me is just
no
like,
benefit to lying.
Okay, just imagine if you get put in a position where something it is advantageous, how you gonna go about stuff, and so I just don't trust it at all. It's kind of funny because all these are kind of tied to what we saying naturally. Because the next one is like help people. Authentic kindness builds trust. And for me, when I think of help people and authentic kindness, I think about people that just like to contribute and help and stuff. And
okay, now let's just break it down. What makes the kindness authentic? When you don't expect nothing in return.
That, or like I say, for me, it's like when you ask what you can do rather than me asking you.
Okay.
Like if I just come to a thing like, hey man, I'm on my way. Do y'all need anything? Or you get there like, hey, can I help do anything? Rather than you saying, hey bro, can you come help me real quick? It's different than
it's different.
People just offering they help when they don't have to, you know? Cause some people, they just gonna come and critique and criticize.
We got a couple of those.
But it's different when somebody say, hey man, you need me to do something? Can I help? Something.
What you need me to do? You know?
So that's when it's authentic, when it's like, it's not asked for. They just offer it.
I think it's authentic to me too when it's like my purpose for being kind is for you to be okay or to see you be well on your way, right?
Yeah.
Like, of course, a case in point, when people move, you know what I mean? Like, I'm one of them people that, I ain't gonna lie, I don't know why. I just one of the people that get called a lot to help people move my whole life. You know what I mean? Yeah. Friends, family, romantic partners, you know what I mean? And it's just like, well, I don't want to see you have to struggle and help and figure this out, how you going to get this done. Let me just be a helping hand. Even if somebody already got it planned with like how you do, you know? I still come over there. We just need to put stuff in boxes. You know what I mean? Like, I'm doing that because I want to see you in a better situation. You know what I mean? I want to see you be where you want to be. And I never, when I offer, like, I don't never really just expect nothing in return. Like, I don't need money. You know what I mean? I don't need.
Well, I say that's when it's authentic, when you just help and there's no motive or agenda behind it.
I'm not doing this to weaponize it and make you help me. Like, 2 weeks later. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm
if
just
you
a naturally helpful person that like to contribute and participate. So,
like, if you said to me, like, Drew, can you help me with this? I'm gonna say, yeah, but if I help you with this, can you help me 2 weeks later? You're gonna be like, all right.
That's when you don't think it's that authentic kindness, when it's like it's contingent upon that.
And it's like, bro, if I never would have asked you, would you even, you know what I mean? Like, when you got to do that little, everybody know that little. You know, that little what?
That's the thing that don't sit right with me, where it's like
anything you do that to go, it's like, it's not sitting right with your spirit, brother. Showing your feelings. Be open about your emotions. Showing you care builds trust in you. Practice emotional intelligence. That's deep to me, man. Especially that second one. In the first, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And you know, I've been on that these last two years, really. I've been saying it more and more. Like, I'd rather the emotions flow than for them to be bottled up. You know what I'm saying? This right here might spill over to like romantic encounters. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather you just say what's making you mad. Say what's bothering you. I don't want to have to pull it out of you. That's authentic. You know what I mean? Like, hey, Drew, you said this to me today. It kind of got brushed over when we was talking, but it really stuck out to me. You know what I mean?
Like, well, you said that, and it's not sitting well with me. But see, and like I said, that's for me. When I feel like I could build up trust. When I say, when it ain't just the positive emotions, but it's everything that you feel. Sometimes it might be good. Sometimes, like you said, it might be one of those
turbulent things.
And for me, it's like, the fact that you are, you know, being willing to actually share that kind of stuff make me, like I say, just build trust in me, because it's like, okay, so regardless of how they feel, they gonna come to me with it, you know. I
love that. It's a certain security in that, right? Like, man, no matter what, whether up or down, that person gonna give me something. You know what I mean? And I like that. And the last bullet point of that is like your emotional intelligence. Like, we're adults. Like I said earlier, let's use our words in a calm tone. Okay, it can be a stern tone, but we don't gotta yell. We ain't gotta curse each other out. I ain't gotta be no MFs. Nobody gotta be no B words. You ain't gotta bring up past family trauma. You know what I mean? Like, let's communicate about this effectively
Because I'm also, we always jokingly say that, use your words.
Yeah, use your words, bro. Like, people think that's such a convoluted thing, but it's not. Like, it shows an intelligence that I can believe in and I can trust in. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not only, like, look, not only are they going to be open about their emotions, not only are they going to show you care, but they're going to do it in a way that's understandable, intentional, poignant, and concise. Like, yeah. Just give me that, you know what I mean? And man, things will work out so much better. Like, you know what I mean? Even if you gotta like cause I had to learn that, right? Instead of being like ambiguous all the time. Cause I kind of come from that kind of like, oh well, up in the air, right? What I started doing, I used to start like putting my intent before the contextual stuff. Like, say we got into it. I don't want to call you first and be like, yeah, man, on the trip, man, you know, I felt like blah, 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 blah. And that's going to lead you to say, well, Jude, what are you saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to open it up. Hey, Ed, you pissed me off on Monday. And you going to say, dang, you going to say, my God. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, what's going on, brother? All right, then I'm going to break it down. I had to, like, practice. And for those out there that do struggle with that, sometimes leading with that, it already sets the table for like this feedback channel we about to have. Like, but that's what I had to do. You know, some people got it like you. I had to build that like a muscle. You know what I mean? And yeah. So I don't know if you got a response to that, but like it helps though. It helps. Like it really do. Yeah. And for good things, like man, you did the dang thing. Let me tell you why, bro. If you wouldn't have did that, yada yada yada.
But yeah, I don't got nothing to add more to show your feelings. I feel like that covered it pretty well. And I don't want to just repeat what you said. So moving on to the next one, avoid self-promotion. Recognizing others builds trust in good relationships. Constant self-promotion degrades trust.
It's like bragging about yourself?
Yeah, I guess. That's how I kind of interpreted that.
Okay. I mean, you don't got to pander, right, to people.
Yeah, but I feel like, you know, giving compliments and stuff.
Reassuring. We just talked about that.
But when there is one, you know. But I feel like, too, if you, like you say, if you're doing all this other stuff and when you do give those, it's going to come from like a genuine place. Cause
this is one of those things that, like, if true trust is involved in the relationship or the friendship, this like one of the things I feel like that'll work themselves
that
out.
Kind of naturally happen.
Yeah, it had.
But I do kind of be burnt out people that like brag about themselves all the time. It's not many people in my life that do that, but it's a couple where they like do a lot of self promotion, and I be like,
yeah.
I don't really care.
Hey, that's one of those. But did you see me though? Like, you know what I mean? Like, but did you see me when I?
And see, man, I feel like I'm hitting on all these naturally because I just talked about this. The next one is do what you believe is right. Sacrificing your values degrades trust. Honesty is respected. Yes, people aren't trusted, and that's what I was talking about earlier when I said I just believe naturally. People do what they feel is right, whether if you agree with it or not. People do typically what they feel is right in that situation.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, like I say, I just like for me, like honesty is just a big one for me, man. I'm gonna always respect it. I say that all the time. Like I'm gonna always respect honesty. I may not like it because, like I say, some of that stuff may be against me. It may be a hard truth, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna respect it.
Right.
And like I say, if I know that you always honest, that's what build trust. Because I can always respect a person that's just honest. Right.
That first bullet point kind of sticks out to me because you know why? It kind of introduces it. What it introduced the thought to in my mind when you read it, how sometimes somebody can lose your trust like second-handedly. Like I watch how you dealt with somebody else.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like you might not have did it to me.
Yeah, but just seeing how you handle somebody else,
I saw you did somebody like this, and you told me you valued this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I might say because if you just move too slimy, just in general, you know I don't want to be associated with you.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. And we got close knit groups, and we come, you know, small places and stuff like that, and we observers, you know. So I could see like, well, dang, you hear about people like, dang, he was always straight up with me. Yeah. Or she was always straight up with me. And then, like, you finally see it. You know what I mean? Somebody giving you their account, and you like, okay, Now you trying to see how much do I trust this person that's telling me to even like.
Because like I say, it gets to that point where it's like, well, if they, doing that to other people and they do that to other, I'm not okay with anybody doing anybody, especially, okay, if you gotta, some stuff be warranted, but if it's unwarranted and you doing
just slimy
stuff, I don't, even if you don't do me that way, because I had that mindset. I used to be friends with this person, and I thought, oh, okay, well, they'd never do that to me. But you see how they do others, and
you're like,
then that one day they come back around and they do you that way, and you be like,
dang.
Oh, well, I can't say I didn't see it coming.
I'm about to say, and dang.
But most people have that naive, well, not naive. Most people have that mindset where they be like, oh, okay, they do that to other people, but they would never do that to me.
It's like, man, that's them, bro.
And I'd be like, that person probably had that same thought too.
Yeah, exactly. But I see that, and I'd be
so
like,
that is kind of like you can lose somebody's trust secondhand.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can, bro. And then it's like, just not the heart, but like those integral things. Like, dang, like you ain't as straight up as I thought you was. Now I got to distance myself. Now when you come to talk to me, I gotta do what it said earlier. Be honest about my emotions and be like, hey, bro, like other night you was talking to old boy kind of crazy. I know, I don't know what y'all got going, but that didn't really sit right with me, bro. What was that about? You know what I mean? And that ain't no gossip, bro. See,
or you might straight up see somebody do something that's like, hey, you stole that from them. That wasn't like, wait, right. Hold on.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that didn't have nothing to do with me, but now I don't trust you because
you ever just see like a clear violation? Like, bro, you just violated that whole situation. Yeah, you're right. So. But anyway, lastly, admit mistakes. Honesty, which has been a word that's been in a lot of these. Honesty encourages trust. Showing vulnerability builds trust. Like, I know me personally, I got very comfortable with constructive criticism. You know what I mean? Just coming from where we come from and doing what we did. And, we got athletic background, so we understand people just yelling at you.
Yeah. But telling you your mistakes, so you had no choice but to admit them because some stuff ain't up for interpretation. Sometimes you just wrong and you got to just eat that.
And sometimes you ain't even got to, you don't have no say in this. No. Like, you did that wrong. You know what I mean? So I got very comfortable with just being like, okay, I messed that up.
Like, there's a lot of people that, like I said, that pride and ego get in the way where we just talked about that earlier, where some people have a hard time saying I was wrong. They rather be like, dang, you still mad? And then instead of saying, yeah, bro, my bad, I know I was tripping, they can't even like admit that they did anything wrong. Like some people they feel like they gotta like uphold themselves to an image that they gave themselves on how they see themselves. And admitting to any shortcoming or anything would make them less than what they see themselves as, and they can't admit that.
Exactly.
And I mean, I think that's a big one to build trust, because if somebody never willing to say they wrong or take that accountability, it's hard to build trust with somebody like that.
You know what?
That's never wrong.
You know what I get a lot of confusion on, just on this point, and I know you feel me on this. When because I open the door for constructive criticism, or I open the conversation. Like, okay, what could I have done better? What I get confusion is I say that, they say their thing, and I'm not giving no pushback, but I'm trying to get clarification. So it sounds like pushback, and then they say, well, you just don't want to hear me. It's like, no, I'm trying to hear you. I just want to pinpoint.
Yeah, make sure I got a clear understanding.
Like, stop trying to make it seem like I'm just arguing.
But sometimes I ask stuff that other people wouldn't want for. Like, I ask something wanting the answer, but they say don't ask me that back because I don't want to know. Yeah. But me, it's like, you're right. I just operate under the guise that I'm not perfect and I'm always trying to improve. So like, I can take, like you said, maybe it's just from having a sports background and just being yelled at 2 inches from your face, but I can take that kind of stuff and it don't really bother me. Like when I ask a question,
it doesn't rile you up.
I'm not asking it. And if you don't say the right thing, I'm going to feel away. It's like,
yes, Bo. Yes.
I don't see myself as perfect. So you telling me that I'm not perfect.
That's okay.
Yeah, because like you say, at this point, I'm really looking for constructive criticism.
And I just be trying to pinpoint.
So first, I need to get like a benchmark of where I'm at. Then I want you to explain, like, oh, okay, well, I can do that better. And then it's like that. So
yeah, it's like, okay.
But like I say, I get that all the time where I ask a person a question and they be like, well, don't answer that about me because I don't want to know. And I'm like, oh, okay, well. Like I said, I know I'm not perfect, so it's like it's always room for improvement.
When they say that to you, do you like, I guess they'll just ask when they ready for that, or
it's like I say, I get it because some people they can't handle that type of level of criticism or honesty with themselves,
or then maybe they just don't want to hear from you.
That sometimes
that's a big thing too. Like,
but yeah, sometimes it's just like some stuff I rather not know about myself and me. I'm like, I want to know all about me. So
I need all my flaws,
good, bad, and the ugly. G. So. Like I say, everybody's not like that. Like, I've casually asked people, what do you think some of my shortcomings are as a man? Like my greatest shortcomings. What do you think they are? Some people don't want to ask that, you know.
You just cold ask that, or do you build up?
No,
yeah, that's good.
I ask it.
I might need to build up. I need 1 or 2 more questions.
Let's say for me, it's like, I don't operate under the guise that I'm perfect. So it's like,
just put it out there. Huh?
And I think I'm pretty self-aware. So there's nothing that you could tell me that I hadn't heard or that shocked me.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, so
it's like
I can absorb. Okay. I can absorb and digest everything pretty much. Like
now, like I say, if you say something, like I say, me feeling like I got a pretty good understanding of myself, I might not agree if you just go completely off the hinge because I have a pretty.
Hey now.
I have a pretty good awareness of who I am, but I don't get offended by that stuff, especially stuff that's up for interpretation that you experience, you know?
Yeah. I ain't just about to wear no jacket.
Like if I say, do you enjoy my cooking? Like that's
okay.
That can vary person to person, right? So you might say
it's no,
but then I ask, like you say, you ask for clarification. Well, what don't you like about it?
Yeah.
And if it comes down to you kind of be seasoning your food, and I don't. It kind of be a little too spicy for me. Okay, you can't handle spice, so
okay. Now I know what to do. Now
I can't necessarily not cook. It's just you that don't really go. For, so it be stuff like that. So like I don't really.
But that stuff like that gives you the estimation for probable behavior. Yeah. So you know when they're around, it's like okay.
But yeah, so I don't know. Like I say, for me, admitting mistakes is easy, and then too, I think it always helps because. It's funny. I would always playfully get blamed for everything that went wrong in my house. Like they would just, that's it. Like I've been a scapegoat. So for me, it just, me taking, I don't know.
You are very good. You handle it so well. You probably should have wilded out on a couple people by now. A couple of us, actually. You know, it's a couple of your friends.
Just be getting blamed for stuff. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't take that so personal now because I've been blamed for stuff
because you handle it so
some
well.
Stuff it be me. So hey, like I say, I'm human, man.
You handle it so well, it make you the easiest person to blame. You're like, oh yeah, just blame Ed. Just throw it on Ed.
Like I say, I'm human, man, and I know that. So
it's okay.
You learn every day. You just hope to get better and not keep making the same mistakes.
Yeah.
That's the goal, to not make the same mistakes, to not make mistakes because nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
And like I say, for me too, like I say, that fall into like where I was talking about accountability, admitting mistakes, and that make me be able to trust somebody because if you just can't ever see your wrongs or admit to them, then like I say, it's just gonna make me hard to trust you because your like perception of reality is skewed. And
I even like 2 big indicators for me when I'm observing and dealing with somebody: how they handle success and how they handle failure, how they handle things when it's on the up and up, and how they handle disparity.
Yeah,
some people throw their hands up, take their hand off the wheel and just let it go. You know what I mean? Some dudes keep their hand on the steering wheel. They might skid a little bit, but they get through it. You know what I mean? And those 2 things resonate with me a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where you get the self-promotion. When everything good and they just want to talk about themselves and just want to say what they did to get the money or what they did to make it happen, and just kind of overshadowing everybody else. Like, oh, I know how you.
I never
is.
thought about that, but yeah, that is something I do see how people are when they everything good or when they under duress, and see how that changes.
And just how you said, like, you understand that you ain't perfect. I understand that life get hard. You know what I mean? I almost, and this kind of go back to the participating thing. Like, I almost hope that you reached out to me when things are bad. You know what I mean? Because I genuinely, like that other one said, I genuinely want to let you know that you're going to be all right. You know what I mean? Like, if I can help ease that a little bit, help you understand yourself or help you understand your situation a little bit better, I'm here for that. You know what I mean? And I want you to trust me. I want you to have enough trust in me to know that you can come to me. You know what I mean? Happens over time. I remember calling you when stuff wasn't right for me. You know what I mean? You remember 2017. You know what I mean? Like, and that makes it so much better. And it makes your kindness, just using words from these bullet points, so much more authentic when things are like going good for them. Like you said in the last episode, maybe the episode before last, like a win for somebody else can be a win for you. I had been thinking about that, how when you said that, like that really kind of sat with me. Like, yeah, a win for somebody else can be a win for me. I like when when you do this, or somebody get a job, or somebody.
Yeah, I was telling somebody that today. I was like, I like when good stuff happen to good people.
Man, like this morning, I was like, man, that took a lot of vulnerability. Appreciated that. Some people call me sometimes, say, Jew, man, you told me this, help me out. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I appreciate that. Like, you didn't have to say that. I wasn't even looking for the pat on the back. You know what I mean? But appreciate that. But like you said, those things help me garner trust with anybody, and like I got like I ain't gonna lie, I got like a locked in type of trust. Like when you hit that level, and we know who's up there, and when you up there with me, because you'll know, you know what I mean? Like just the conversations will be different. It'll be like, shoot, hey, you know how I talk to you, off mic, like, hey, this was going on, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna give you the option, like, bro, this might go wrong, and this how I'm gonna react. Well, if it go right, this is what we gonna do. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I can forecast myself pretty nicely. So I try to be candid with that and be intentional. Yeah. I was gonna ask you just this year, if you wanted just to grade how you dealt with trust this whole year from scale of 1 to 10, what you think it'd be? Like trust as a concept for you. How was it for you this year?
I don't know. I be blindly trusting. Like I never forget this Frank Ocean post. He was like, "I live on the edge. I trust people." And I was like, "Yeah, I kind of do the same." Like I said, I'm not naive and gullible, but
blissfully ignorant.
I move with a certain general trust for people. So I trust people. Like I say, you got to build up to get to other levels, but like a general trust, I trust people unless you give me a reason not to blaringly at the beginning. But
you ever wanted somebody to trust you more, and like you recognize that they don't trust you as much as you would like them to trust you?
Maybe like when you first start dating people, but I mean, for me, it's like explorative. I'm about to say, but that's the only time maybe where I wanted more trust from a person, not in friendship. That really can just come whenever it come. But I feel like sometimes in like romantic dynamics, you may want that, especially if you may be already there, but they're not quite there, where you're sharing certain stuff that's real. You may not share with everybody, but they not quite there. But like I said, I feel like that stuff is just kind of gradual, and like I feel like would help a lot of people too that might have a hard time sharing if they see how transparent and candid you being with them. That might make them feel more comfortable to start opening up, even if it don't instantly be at your level. They got to work up to it.
That's inviting.
So outside of that, no. I mean, that question popped in my head, and it's a good question. So I'm trying to answer it too myself. Probably mostly, like you said, in the realms of dating.
and significant others and trying to find a partner. Yeah, friendship. But it's like, I think that issue would come from the need to be accepted. You know.
Never, I'm about to say, I just don't be that.
Never really, but never really had that. But I guess in the arena that it would happen, our friends came together so organically. It was like, I trust Ed enough, my core enough, Buddha. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need nobody else trust. I got the trust from the people I want. You know what I mean? Like, and shoot, it just worked out like that. But
I got one last question before we get out here. Have someone ever had your trust and lost it?
Oh, yes.
And when they lost it, were they able to gain it back, or was it just gone forever?
Trust is a deep wound. Trust is a deep thing to scar. You know what I mean? Because it leaves you so shooken up. You know what I mean? Like, like you be wondering where it went wrong and where did the train go off the tracks, and like when things like that happen, I ask a lot of internal questions. You know what I mean? Try to figure that out. But yes, somebody has had my trust and they lost it. I don't think I've given the opportunity for them to get it back. You know what I mean? Like,
so if you was at that level, you might work your way, but not be at that level again.
I think like if you like say somebody, I don't know how we got this grading scale, but it's here. Like if somebody's at a 9, they lost it, they could probably only ever get back to like a 5. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like that with me. Outside of like, I mean, I'm the type of dude that's still cool with his exes. You know what I mean? So like, even like in those situations, like, okay, we might not be tied in like we was tied in. I mean, we probably can't have that access to that trust no more. But like, I'm gonna still treat you like a genuine person. That don't mean you're gonna get all that trust back. But if you want it back, I will tell you how you can get it back with me. I can tell you that. It gotta start with a conversation, a real conversation. Not that old, did you see this on Twitter stuff? Like, no, we need to say, hey, what went wrong?
Yeah.
How did you hurt me? I mean, how did I hurt you? Like, we gotta talk that stuff, and then it could be a gradual building block. But yeah, I've had that, man. A lot of stuff recently. It's just like, when you give somebody trust, the faith is that it's going to last forever, and you two are going to remain to treat each other at a specific level that you almost subconsciously agreed to. I ain't never asked you to trust me. Well, I probably have, but like not on no formal stuff like that. It just got built. You know what I mean? It wasn't we didn't shake hands about it. You know what I mean? Like, so for it to be something like that, it'd be hard. You know what I mean? It'd be hard for me.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's a long way back, and
yeah,
context of it, more than likely, probably not. And like you say, for me, that's gonna be a conversation, and you got to explain your actions to me.
Yeah,
and why you did what you did. And
I need thought process.
Yeah. I need like I say, that's when you got to admit your mistakes and accountability. Because if there's no accountability to even say that what you did was wrong, but you just more so just miss our dynamic, then no. But if you can like explain to me what you did, why you did, and you just know you was just straight up, I would rather somebody just say they was wrong than try to defend their actions. Me personally, if you trying to get my trust back, you can explain to me what you was thinking at the time. I would like to know that. But as far as like whatever I just said, because it sounded really good.
Yeah, that.
I just need an admittance of like that you was wrong, and then maybe like what you gonna do to like correct that. But
yeah, it's not even like that.
But for me, like I say, it's all contextual because it depends on the way in which you betrayed my trust.
Yeah, it do depend on the infraction.
Yeah.
I would say this, like, if I've lost somebody's trust, I haven't been told. I don't want to act so high sedity that it's like, oh, that's on them to say something. You know what I mean? Because I probably just don't know. Like, you know what I mean? But like you said about the criticism, you know, admit mistakes, like, I try to let people know before it even get to that level. Like, you can talk to me about the things.
And for me, though, that's communication. Because if you never say anything, then I can never admit my wrongs.
Yeah. So say you're in a position now that your trust is gone. Somebody don't trust you like that no more and you don't know. I guess you'll just never know till they tell you, huh?
Yeah. Oh, well. Like I said, unless they really close in my life, then I could probably figure it out.
Figure it out. Yeah, you can figure it out. Yeah.
But if it's just...
And that would make stuff weird in the scene, bro. It's like, why this dude acting like, you know, why this person like moving weird and giving me a weird energy? You know what I mean?
I say, they just go into what we talked about, trust, the communication, being able to communicate properly and all that
emotional
stuff. So
intelligence, yes.
Person can't do that, then hey.
That's on them, huh?
Well, I can't fix something that I don't know is wrong.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I was just trying to see the other side of that question, but you right. You right. Man. Hey.
Episode 90.
Episode 90. We got 10 more episodes till we hit 100, bro.
Yeah, so.
We've been at this for a little while, man.
So probably right after the new year, around that time.
Yeah.
In January, end of January.
Yeah, end of January, yeah.
Make it to 100.
Yeah, man. It's going to be good, man. It's going to be a good little. Are we going to be off for the holiday or you going to be off for the holidays? I guess I could bring the stuff down. We can catch us a pod in Orange, huh?
Yeah, man.
We're going to be too busy?
I'm not.
I'll probably get there. I see.
Yeah, man.
We'll wait off mic. But
yeah.
I just want to, just before Ed take us out, I just want to say shout out to y'all rocking with us for 90 episodes. Like, thank y'all, man. We did a lot of growing on this podcast, man. Like, it's to the point now. Like, if you need to know something about me, there's an episode about it. You can go.
I'm about to say, I don't think neither one of us are in the same place we were when we started this.
Heck no.
On episode 1, but yeah, we'll do all that good reflecting on 100. But right. This has been episode 90 of the Transferable Experience podcast. Hey, if you above the age of,
go ahead.
I'm gonna be nice. If you above the age of 26, man, bring something, contribute something.
Don't just bring your appetite.
Do not come hungry, and if you got kids, really don't just come hungry with you and your kids, man.
Yeah.
Have some class.
And we got plates, okay?
And this is record high inflation, man. So, hey.
Put something on the table, brother.
I would rather you give 20 than nothing.
There you go.
Because, man, this stuff is the most expensive it's ever been, man.
Yes,
so
it is. Yes,
don't just come with nothing. Hungry.
Do right by the table.
Yeah. Do right by the table. That's it. Do right by the table.
Do right by the table, man.
Episode 90, the Transferable Experience podcast. Till next time.